All right, what's up, VC? Cheers, everybody. I got the coffee. I'm not going to walk away. But I think it's become my signature move that I'm going to have to do every now and then. Shout out to Rob, the Waxed. Go like and subscribe to his channel. It's really good. All right, I'm going to participate in Rachel's... she's doing this 5 songs, picking lyrics from, to help her get to her 1,000 subscribers, which I think she already reached, but doesn't matter. Still participate. And I haven't participated in that many competitions, and I'll explain the reason why. Sometimes some of the competitions, nothing to do with any of the vinyl channels themselves or the person. Sometimes it feels like homework. And if something feels like homework to me, I totally lag, and I usually don't enjoy doing it if it feels like that, but doesn't mean the topic itself I wouldn't enjoy doing. So that being said, please don't take offense to me not participating. But so we're gonna go straight into it. 5 songs, 5 lyrics. 5 songs with lyrics that mean something to you, and that's hard for me to narrow it down to 5. So I'm gonna do a little more than 5, And if you haven't checked out Rachel, it's Rachel the Music Ma'am. She has a great channel. She goes live twice a day, and it's a total fucking hilarious. It's a total mess sometimes, in a good way. It goes from every topic you can think of that I'm pretty sure they've touched bases on. But it's the main route is vinyl and music. But it I have not had any problems in the vinyl community. Thankful for that. And I want to give props to my dad. When I was a kid, this is going to be all over the map here, but I'm sorry for this. When I was a kid, I would, you're a total mess when you're a kid, and that's just how it is. But I used to say some things that were just so harsh, because I knew how powerful words were at a very young age. I think it was because my mom read a lot, she would love singing. She used to sing a lot to Joni Mitchell. I don't think that had the impact on it, but my mom and my dad are both like literary type of people. So I think it was in my blood to begin with. But my dad could tell, if you have any type of power, you gotta, be disciplined with it. And I think that's every person on this planet. If you can use words, you gotta be somewhat disciplined if you want to make, change in a positive way. Or if you want to make change in a bad way, that depends on the person. But my dad one time took my guitar away from me for a whole month. There was no way he could usually trouble me. My guitar, I did get from him, my first full-size guitar. I was 10 years old. And he's like, I'm gonna take your guitar away from you for a whole month. And to get it back, after that month, you have to at least write down on paper 500 times, like 500 to 1,000 times. My dog is on squirrel patrol. He said, I want you to write down, treat people the way I want to be treated back. Liza, hey, Liza, come on, get over here. Liza. She goes crazy. Sorry if you didn't hear that. He said, Liza! Oh, now I had to leave the camera, my signature move. Hey, go back on the bed. Go calm down. Leave your girlfriend alone. Look at this. Okay, she's on the bed now. Hey. Hey, I love, you guys, now you know how security dog. Hey, squirrel patrol, calm down. She's trying to act more badass on camera. Sit down. Here's your chew toy. Relax. Let this girl get some bird food. He wanted me to write down 500 to 1,000 times, treat people the way you want to be treated back. And I thought, I was like, of course I want to write this down just to get my guitar back, but my dad knew it would sink in my head a little bit, because he knew I would think about stuff if it got it in the brain long enough. So, writing it down, and it was a weird, simple concept. And I already kind of knew this, but my dad wanted me to practice it more often, because, sometimes I was already such a little fucking asshole. And then, my dad's like, you can't really be mad too bad when people are just treating you the way you started to treat them in the beginning, So that's just something to think about. I've treated everyone. I've thrown a few jokes in there, and it's all for I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. It's please throw some shit on me. I'm a ginger with freckles. My aunt, when I was a kid, used to tell me, Ty, when you take your shirt off, it looks like you stood behind a cow that had diarrhea and it just sprayed shit all over your shoulders. Literally, this is what my aunt told me when I was a little kid, and man, that was a sweet burn. So, and I'm totally down for those kind of things. My family used to go a little overboard, but that's how we roll. So never trying to be too personal, and just trying to have some fun. So please don't take offense to any of my jokes in the peanut gallery. But that being said, everyone, I felt like I've gotten a great response from. There's nobody I've dealt with in the live streams that I feel like I dislike in which so far. So that being said, the reason I'm going on this long old live stream rant, I guess you could call it, is because I feel like the reason I definitely wanted to participate in this is because, Rachel has busted it a lot for the vinyl community. So, time to return the favor. So, after that crazy long intro, let's get into it. It was kind of hard for me. I'm going to try to go chronological order of like what lyrics triggered me first. So, it was definitely had to be Rush, Farewell to Kings. One of the earliest albums where I remember reading the lyrics of this, and my stepdad, he had a stereo in the living room, and he was a huge Rush fan, and I loved the music too. I fell in love with it right when I heard it, and like, let's just start at the beginning here. The song Xanadu, that, just the way the person is reading about this legend, and then like they find it, and then it ends up not being so. It ends up being like more of a curse to finding Xanadu. And it wasn't a paradise. I thought just the story itself I thought was so cool, and that it was the first time I ever like. A lot of songs are so obvious as far as like it's like heartbreak or something sad, you know what I mean? But this was the first time I heard somebody throw a whole cool story, not relating to like whether it's a metaphor to their personal life or whatnot. I thought the story was so cool at a young age. Then the other song on this album that I totally liked was Cinderella Man. Just because as a young kid, I was already into these bands that a lot of older people are into. A lot of my friends and kids were all the New Kids on the Block. I just could not, I had, only a couple of friends I felt like I could relate to, what was rolling around in my head artistically and stuff. So I felt like a little, this little Cinderella Man wandering around the playground. So, and then the song that I also really liked, I love this whole album, but Cygnus X1, I just thought it's about black holes. And actually at the time, I knew a little bit about black holes. I have no idea why, but my stepdad was like going off like, oh, it's about a black hole, and we get sucked in and all. And so we would read the lyrics together. So that's already 3 songs off the back, and I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna ball this whole album into one greatness. This is kind of the first, my lyrical, just finding out how amazing lyrics can be. And then another song that my stepdad really loved and I also appreciated was Red Barchetta. I remember when that was actually my stepdad's favorite lyrics out of every Rush song. That was the one that would get him the most excited, and he would almost we would always just talk about how cool that song is. And if you don't know what the song is about, it's about this kid who goes to visit his grandpa, and it's the future. A lot of Rush songs take place in the future, and if you're not a Rush person, I totally understand. Some people say the singer sounds like Dolly Parton. I get it, no worries. I like Dolly Parton, but he's at his grandpa's house. It's the future, and there's not cars anymore. Everything's like these hovercrafts. And the kid, there's this like an old Corvette. That's what I always assumed. And he would take it out, and one day he gets chased by one of the cops that's in a hovercraft, and he fucking ditches his ass by going across this narrow bridge that the fucking hovercrafts can't get across. So anyway, you would think it being a hovercraft, it could just keep hovering, but don't worry, the way the lyrics work out describes it perfectly, to where, as a little kid, again, these were lyrics that were captivating my brain. I would go to school and just think about music. I did not really, nothing, every once in a while would pop out of my head and listen to what the teachers had to say. But I was very obsessed with time and lyrics at a young age, so that was what was appealing to me. So, okay, we'll just move on now. Talk about it forever here. Okay, the song My War off this album. When I was a little kid, again, I kind of lived in a house. My mom it was a party house. A lot of the adults sometimes were just, were on whatever they were taking or whatever they were drinking. It was very obvious sometimes. You could tell they looked a little lost. But them looking so lost and being a kid with such a little sober brain at the time, I always felt like it was like you're one of them. You know what I mean? So My War, you're one of them, you say that you're my friend. It just kind of like, it made me feel like Henry Rollins or whatever had, similar scenario, different way though. But, so as a kid, it just made me one of those things to where the lyrics made me realize like, the cool thing about lyrics, it made you realize you're not alone in the way you're feeling. So I think that's the biggest thing for a lot of people that connected with the lyrics. So Jethro Tull's Aqualung. The song itself I really liked. My stepdad, I remember asking him, like, because my stepdad, he loved lyrics. So a lot of times before I would even read the lyrics, I just asked my stepdad, what's your interpretation of the song? What do you think? And this one was pretty straightforward. At the time, my actual dad, my biological father, he was homeless. And my stepdad starts describing that Aqualung is about a homeless dude. And man, it kind of got to me as a little kid. And I swear if I think about it for too long, it'll still get to me. I have to chill back for a second here. Get a little emotional. Because both my stepdad and my dad had passed away. So anyways, but I could tell my stepdad could see in my little brain the wheels were turning. And, but that was like our bonding way. We were having our little bonding moment. He was like, oh shit. I kind of describing a song that's kind of describing somebody similar to what Ty's dad's situation was at the time. Don't worry, my dad became unhomeless and totally made a full circle, which we're thankful for, before he passed away. So he didn't pass away a homeless person. But that was a lyric, and still to this day, I can remember that moment. So, and I still love this whole album. And Up to Me, really good song. Song number 2, what's the next song? Right after Aqualung. Cross-eyed Mary. Sorry, I can't. The way the writing was, yeah, I could not really. I couldn't read it for a second there. Sorry. But yes, that is a very good album, and that song definitely gets to me. All right. So it's like, all right. A lot of these songs, and again, I'm just picking stuff from my. There's tons of lyrics that shit. If there's lyrics, I want to read them, interpret them, and just get into them. So a lot of these are going. I'm just going some of the ones I feel like bring up the most feeling, the most, So we'll go a little more. Megadeth. Peace sells, but who's buying? Holy shit, those lyrics were great back in fucking like 87, 86 when he wrote this. Something like that. It doesn't, for some reasons I can't find the year right now. Yes, 86. 86, Peace sells, but who's buying? And of course, but those lyrics were relevant back in the day. Still relevant today, obviously. And this album cover is straight, fire as far as I'm concerned. This is just a great album cover. And I'm pretty sure it shows the United Nations and crumbles. And it's a for sale sign. And then the Peace sells, but who's buying? And man, that song, the song is badass. Bassline's killer. But the lyrics overall is more of just this, what do you mean I don't pay my bills? Why do you think I'm broke? It just, a lot of those songs, I feel like that was what most people could relate to. Even if you, and it was cool because Megadeth, you read the name back when you're a young kid, Megadeth, you would think this is like a death metal band. And they were like thrash metal, whatever you want to categorize them, but their lyrics, Dave Mustang's lyrics were always way political. He was way ahead of his time as far, I feel like he's a great a great lyricist, not just a great song, musical writer. So yeah, killer lyrics. So, we're gonna get a little heavy here. This whole album, kind of Stone Temple Pilots in general, and Rush, it's kind of strange because my stepdad and I would go see Rush every time they would come out with a new album. And one year, my mom and stepdad were separated, and so my cousin Scott stepped up, and we used my stepdad's. I'm pretty sure my mom had purchased the tickets. I could be wrong though, but my stepdad wasn't living with us at the time, and I still wanted to go to the show, and so my cousin took me, and he lived 2 houses down. It was my second cousin, her new husband, they'd been together for a while, and he was became like family. He was like the nicest guy in the world, and so we had, seen him. He would come down to my house all the time. He played in a band with my mom's other good friend Chuck, who taught me guitar and stuff, and so totally, really a person that had a big impact on my life. So then in 2009, Stone Temple Pilots did their reunion tour, and we all went together. My bass player, my second cousin Scott, our other good friend Mike, and then about 6 years after that show, about 6 years ago, he ended up committing suicide. Just kind of totally out of nowhere. No, I mean, I had never seen the warning signs, and he gave me he hooked me up with my first half stack. I still have an effects pedal that I got from him, which I'll save forever. But so now it's like, even sometimes when I hear the Rush, it pops in my head. You know, mainly the good memories of him. It was only good memories of him. You know, I try not to think of, how he checked out so much, even though it's hard not to at times. But the Stone Temple Pilots show was our last show we've seen together. So anytime I hear Stone Temple Pilots, STP, Stone Temple Pilots, that gets in there. So it's like not so much the lyrics, it's just more of the show, our memory attached to that band. But either way. And so, for some reason, I had to go through a lot of rough things, and that's kind of normal for most people. It sucks. Hopefully you don't have to go through some of these rough things that I'm mentioning here. But, so another song where the lyrics really get to me is a song called Snowblind by Black Sabbath. My first cousin, who we were cousins by marriage. When I was a little kid, my uncle married this woman that had a young kid, and we were close to the same age. He was a couple years older than I was. But he also played guitar at a very young age, like I did. So we were little guitar homies, and he was like the older brother I never had. And he played amazing guitar player. He just could shred guitar. He just had a really amazing ear. He didn't need to know theory. You just hear something and play it. It was super fun to watch and super fun to have because I learned tons of stuff from my amazing cousin. Well, a little over 2 years ago, he got murdered by his younger brother. And I know, super fucked up. I know his younger brother also. And he shot him 7 times. And we really don't know why. Others supposedly got in a dispute over their dad, which makes no sense because they were both really close to their dad. So I don't even get that. And I guess I'll never really ever know what really happened. It's a total, a really heavy thing to go to just experience, to go through like that, to have a family member get murdered. So when I hear a lot of the stuff, we used to jam out on so many songs together. So it's hard. There's so much stuff I hear that I just think of my second cousin. But instead of trying to get bummed out, I try to just think of all the cool memories I have of him. Easier said than done. But if I just chill for a second, I'll be fine. But so yeah, it's crazy how music is very powerful. You have so many memories attached to it, in good and bad ways. But that's just a part of art. Now, I didn't want this segment to be so dark and heavy, but I'm just gonna be real. Mention the songs and stuff that bring up stuff. And now I probably could have gone more other positive, but I'm gonna end on something more positive. A song that I read today, that's an older song that I've never heard. My mom a while back got me this record as a gift. And what's kind of cool, just by strange coincidence, the house I grew up in had the same type of this weird tree that's in front. It has like a white bark that peels off. I used to climb it all the time. It was a really cool tree. But the last song on the first side, and it's like obviously Jackson Browne's an amazing songwriter, but The Late Show, that is just killer. The whole song is really good. The recording quality, Don Henley's doing harmonies. But I feel like how I feel at moments right now in my life, definitely relatable to those lyrics for whatever reason. I'm sure most people can relate to those lyrics. Alright guys, don't want to be too Debbie Downer here, but that was my episode for the 5 songs. I probably mentioned like 10 or 12 now that I think about it. But the cool thing is, I'm thankful I have music, because if I didn't have music, this world would be a boring place. So, and I know that's for so many. And not only just to get to listen, you get to try to contribute by creating music. And don't ever be afraid if you're just starting to play music. You know, start creating. Like U2, they said they sucked so bad at their instruments they couldn't even play a cover song. So they said when they started their band, they couldn't be like, hey, let's all jam out. You know this, I know this, let's all play that song we all kind of already know. No, that wasn't happening. So they said, what did they do? They just started writing their own music. And you know what's cool? You listen to U2, that's why U2 sounds so much like U2. They don't sound like really anyone else. You might be able to hear some influences on certain things, certain aspects maybe you could point out, but I'm a huge U2 fan. I love U2. Especially the early stuff. Like their first few albums, fucking so crazy good. All of their albums are really good. But my actual dad was there when they played in San Francisco and spray painted on that water fountain and I think he got arrested for it or fined or whatever. But anyways, just start creating. Don't ever be intimidated like, oh, I'm not experienced or I don't. Just fucking hit play and record on your phone and fucking record that shit. Yeah, and that's so I don't know how this just went from 5 songs to now creating music, and I did a history lesson on the live streams of Rachel's channel, but hey, I'm kind of all over the map, and that's just how I roll. I remember the first time in English class, the teacher was like, write an essay, and I was thinking like, done, how many words you want? 50,000? So I gave her like, 10 pages too many. And she's like, Ty, the topic we were supposed to write about was just computers, and then 4 subtopics off of computers, but somehow you start off on computers, and then we did a history lesson here, and you talked about technology for a little while, and then music composition, then Einstein and Steinbeck, and she's like, I fucking love the passion, the fire, but it was like 40 subtopics that didn't even relate to the main topic we were supposed to write about. Sorry, teacher. I didn't know how to be so structured. I got you. Way easier. Okay? Computers suck balls. Computers are cool. You can send music through them, and emailing made shit easier for talking to each other. And just ramble on. A+. It was weird when I would find out how most shit to do was actually very simple. It was weird. Strange. Yeah. Always thinking solutions. I hear people sometimes complain. And I went through that phase, and I'm thinking of complaining now about complaining phase you go through sometimes. But I always like to try to think of interesting solutions, like right off the bat, the California drought issues. I'm from California. I don't want to, don't be mad at me here, but it's a beautiful state, regardless. Whatever you think of, and I'm apolitical, so please save everyone. But they're having what's it called, the drought issue right now. Well, I lived right by the fields when I was a kid. You see them fucking using a lot of water on produce in this town that I'm from. And this record's gonna end, and I'm just gonna flip it over so there's not dead music, because I feel like it should just be like a cool movie with a backing, with a soundtrack, soundtrack to my life. Alright, sorry Rob for disappearing out of the camera angle. Okay, but they would use a lot of water in the field. And I'm talking, they were growing cauliflower, they're growing lettuce, strawberries, every cool produce you could think of. Not every, but that's like the main: lettuce, strawberries, cauliflower. Kind of just depends on what part of town you're in. But the fields right next to my house, we would have all that stuff. You see them using water. Sorry for the sound effect there. And we live 8 miles away from the ocean. Those giant fields. And I thought, why don't they just put the desalinization? I can't remember the name, but desalinization or desalinine, whatever those plants. I know they're really expensive, but we have them. I mean, we can transport oil like fucking thousands of miles away, right? Transporting water shouldn't be as hard, which we already do. I know in LA with the fucking canals and shit, Modesto, we move water all over the place. So why not just put one of those fucking plants right on the coast, throw out some major pipelines, and just water all the fields with the fucking purified seawater. Now, I'm sure you could tell me there's mercury, whatever, but come on, I'm sure it could be used. As much pesticides as they dump on the fucking produce, you can't tell me they can't do that. Well, or maybe you can tell me and I'm wrong. And if I am Mr. Scientist people out there, or Mr. or Mrs. Scientist people, humans, tell me if I'm wrong or right. So not only I was like, okay, it fixes that, so you're not wasting the natural resources of water. Well, they're freshwater. And so I took it a step further. All the lakes are low, right? So why don't you just fill up the lakes with the fucking ocean, purified ocean water? Not all the way, because in case of rain, you need to leave some space, right? But then they say the oceans are rising. Well, then if the oceans are rising, suck the water out of the oceans and fill fucking every dam. Let's start transporting fucking trucks everywhere and just sip out this water and bump down that global warming. Now, obviously, this is gonna. Now we need to still fix global warming or whatever. I mean, you still should be. You should be environmentally conscious, anyways. Like, you shouldn't litter, but you know what I mean. Suck water out of the ocean. Get so we're not flooding Florida. You know what I mean? When the rich people keep all their fucking coastal mansions, and then the poor people that live in the white trash lakes, like, you know what I mean? Just kidding. Calm down. Don't get offended here that I said that. But you know what I'm talking about. There's some parts on those lakes, like the Ozarks, fucking sketchy, okay? Lake Livingston, they have some parts in Texas like that. Not all. There's some beautiful parts of the lake. It's huge, but I've seen it. I saw it. So, save the mansions. Us poor folks still get to use our pontoon boats and barbecue and shit. Hey, I know not of us are all not. Just because I talk like this doesn't mean I'm fucking broke, motherfucker. My second cousin, who I am married to, she inherited so much fucking money. We're wealthy, okay? Hey, Susie, bring me some fucking Budweiser. No? Okay, don't be offended. Like, I like to poke fun. But anyways, I swear I fixed the ocean rising. I fixed all the fucking knee borders. I need to fucking get in the coves deep. And then I also solved the drought issue in California. Fucking Chinatown Part 2 is happening. Okay? No one's gonna cut Jack Nicholson's nose in this new one. Okay? It's bullshit. That part always switchblade right through the edge of your nose. So next time we'll cut your whole nose off. So strange. People used to tell me, I remember dad like, do I overthink? Because I can just go like this. And luckily my dad did these meditative exercises where he's like, son, can you get your brain just to draw blankness? And what's crazy, I could stop the madness instantly. My dad's like, how long do you think you could go? I'm like, how long do you want me to fucking be blank, Dad? And he's like, could you do a minute? He's like, some people can't even do 5 seconds. Done. So luckily my dad was cool enough to do get the brain, you can shut it off just like that. So, but don't ever be afraid to let the motors just go. I mean, holy shit. I literally, to be real here, I stay up till sunrise almost every night, every morning. I stay up till, I usually like to go and get fresh donuts about 5:30, 6 in the morning. I grab a donut and I'll drink a cup of coffee and I'll fucking go to bed. Yeah, I mean, don't be afraid. Let the wheels turn. Write some cool shit out. I love writing short stories. Holy crap. Just even little comedy bits, anything. Solutions, thinking solutions. I think that's going to be how we're going to end on this 5-song competition. And now, no one's going to watch this whole episode because they're going to see it's a half hour long right off the back and be like, this fucking dude has issues. Please, I'm sorry for that. We all have issues. It's how you deal with those issues is what makes the difference in a person. So, this music here, I feel like a therapist right now. I feel like I'm getting paid big bucks to listen to someone complain, myself, and then you just prescribe them on fucking a bunch of meds that are placebos, and they're like, fuck, the sugar pill you gave me, I feel great. And you're like, that was a sugar pill. I just told you to listen to some good music and go on some therapeutic walks, ride your bicycle around, draw the blankness in your brain, and you get paid $100 an hour. More. Shout out to my sister. She's actually a psychotherapist. She does the rapid eye movement therapy, which has proven to work very good for people with PTSD syndrome. True story. She wrote her master's thesis on that. I remember sometimes I'd ask my sister, like, come on, break it off. You're getting your master's degree. Really that hard? It was. And she had to write a shit ton of stuff. So props to my sister. Respect to both my sisters. Both of my sisters have their master's degree. What's crazy, my one sister got bored and got her master's degree online. So fucking fast. she made, now there's no way it was easy. She was vice president of the fucking HSB, this huge company, and she still, like, no problem. So yeah, thankful. And I made a remark how I was, raised by females. Yes, now I had obviously some male people influencing my life, but the ones that were there consistently was my mom, first off, and then my two sisters until they were 18, and they both moved out right at 18. And it was cool because one sister went off, had an apartment down the street, and I could still go visit her, go ride my bike right down the street and go torment her. So it wasn't like she moved real far away. And then my other sister moved to Santa Cruz, which is like this cool Lost Boys, where Lost Boys is filming at. My sister went to college there, so it was like I would get to go fucking rage in Santa Cruz when I was like in 6th grade. And you're thinking, rage? Yeah, fucking yes, rage. My sister would be having these huge parties. Now, they wouldn't let me get too fucked up, but, fuck, I got to rage. By the night, I'm all playing acoustic guitar. Fucking got a crew of people around me sometimes. We're trading guitar licks. Good times. Right by the beach, you could go on my sister's balcony, you could hear the waves breaking. Oh, it's fucking awesome. So, that's where I met, the influence. I had my stepdad. My dad was homeless. He came back around one time. I was right before I turned 11. So, my stepdad, my mom met when I was like 6 years old. My grandpa had a big influence in my life. And, but yeah, shout out to everyone, who helped out this little fucking crazy person. You know what I mean? What's up? Cheers. And again, I'm sorry, I'd hope my episode didn't become too much of a bummer earlier there. But that was just being 100% with you guys. I don't mind sharing that type of stuff because I feel like it just depends. It is what it is. I might not want to share that sometimes with someone just one-on-one. But if we're talking about it here, which is fucking, I'm not going to hold back. And I think there are certain times you need to hold back, and sometimes just fucking, maybe filming this video in itself is therapeutic, and I needed to talk about it. I didn't feel like fucking, pondering that sad story on someone right now. Holy crap! So I pondered it on YouTube. I don't know if that makes any sense. This is a cool thing, just now. So I went through my dad's stuff that I still have a trunk full, and this was in there. And it's cool. He was really obsessed with number 8. I know infinite, all that cool stuff. He was really obsessed with the resurrection too, so it's kind of see why he really liked the 8. But you can tell I'm pretty sure it's a sticker on the black side and then a black sticker on the white side. I thought it was a pretty, then I just realized. So it's cool. Always getting messages from the other side. Realistically. Maybe not the other side. Your energy. They say, what is it? When you pass away, you basically, about an ounce disappears. It's not oxygen. They put all these people that were passing away on scales, basically. It's like 25.3 grams or something. Something exact. The same. And they think that's your soul, or your spirit, or whatever. So, technically, energy never dies. Electricity, sound waves go on forever. Maybe it's not so much like the other side, more that energy sometimes just lingers around. Now, I don't think you would, if you were like an energy, you wouldn't just hide out in an attic and scare people. I'm sure that energy would just fucking move around to everywhere. Maybe it bounces around back, and that's when you get those little signals. I don't know where I'm going with this one here. I'm gonna have to light some incense now. I feel like we should light some incense. When I get down to my last little bit of incense, I'll chop them in half because I need to go get another batch. I'm going to give a shout out to Nag Champa. This is a lighter that's made in Japan. And what's crazy, lighter fluid lasts so much longer than a Zippo. But just the craftsmanship. This is way old school. It has those spots. You need the graving buttons. Let's just get some peace and tranquility going on. Can you only think of nothing? Not probably while you're staring at your smartphone. That's not going to help that scenario. I'd recommend when you do meditate, you might want to turn your cell phone off. All right. Now that you've heard, I'm just going to push it. Fucking, everyone's gonna be like, dude, each episode is just getting longer and longer. Don't worry. Blankness. Nothing there for at least half a second. All right. Like and subscribe if you enjoy this craziness. I realize now this is not even a vinyl channel anymore. This has become a spiritual, psychological self-healing musical journey now that I'm sharing with electricity and with technology. Now I'm going to put this energy out there with this smoke, and then right now it's what they say this is gets away. What would the hippies used to burn? What was that other stuff? Throw it in the comments. You know what I'm talking about. That stuff that it's like a little too intense at times. I remember one of my cousins. She was a deadhead. Sage. That's what it's called. Almost couldn't get it there. All right, like and subscribe if you enjoy my incense motivational speech here, and go check out all the other cool channels. Most importantly, go check out Rachel the Music Man. If you enjoyed this crazy contest I've entered that has turned into a crazy 40-minute rant, you can participate. You just gotta pick 5 songs, and you go like her page, you pick 5 songs, and then you go comment that you have participated. What's up, everybody? Thank you. Stay positive and play lots of vinyl.